pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes.
Procedural actions. Move for the adoption of motion number 24-001 to nominate and appoint Russell A. McGurran as to the position of President of the Board of Trustees for 2024. I need a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Right, good evening, everyone. Tonight, there's a few dignitaries that we've had walk in. To introduce Jennifer Gross. She's our Ohio State rep, number in the 45th district. Nancy Nix, our Butler County auditor. 12th District Court of Appeals, the Honorable Judge Stephen Powell, who at this time will swear in David M. Young as a newly elected successor to fill the vacancy in the office of the member of Board of Township Trustees for Ross Township, created by the death of Tom Wilsey for the remaining 2 years of the term, effective January 1, 2024 through December 31st, 2025.
As I drove out here, I came by Elda Elementary when I was 9 years old. It's the first time I ever came out to Ross. My mom was getting her first job teaching. It was a fond memory. The other is that I've been here a bunch of times because I was a trustee in Westchester in '79.
Back in the day.
Getting a little long in the tooth, but you used to be part of ours as well. But congratulations. So you let me ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, David M. Young,
I, David M. Young,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the
that I will
United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of trustee
the duties of trustee
of Ross Township,
of Ross Township,
Butler County,
Butler County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance of office. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Again, I get a.
I got you. Sorry, I will, but I can send it to you if you want.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate all your time. Thank you, sir. I'm one. Physical chairs here.
Move for the adoption of motion number 24-002 to nominate and appoint David M. Young to the position of Vice President of the Board of Trustees for 2024. I need a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Move for the adoption of motion number 24-003 to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the December 7th, 2023 regular meeting and the December 21st, 2023 work session. I need a second.
Go ahead. I got it.
Roll call.
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Move for the adoption of motion number 24-004 to approve the minutes of the December 7th regular meeting. Need a second?
Second.
Get two of them.
Roll call.
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Abstain. You're going to abstain on that one?
Well, no, next one. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
On both.
The next one.
You need to abstain on both, actually.
Yep. Move for the adoption of motion number 24-005 to approve the minutes of the December 21st, 2023 work session. I need a second.
You gotta do it. I got to abstain.
Yes, to abstain.
Okay. Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes. I'm posted. So.
Abstain.
Okay.
Dr. Brian Rogers.
Yeses.
At this time, I'd like to welcome our newest full-time police officer, Shonda Stilts. If you could step forward for me.
She thinks it's weird. And then sign your line and pass them on.
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Shonda Stilts, do solemnly swear
I, Chanda Stills, do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the state of Ohio,
the Constitution and the laws in the state of Ohio,
that I will support the resolutions and laws of Ross Township, Butler County, Ohio,
and support the laws and resolutions of the Ross Township, Butler County, Ohio.
and that to the best of my ability, I will discharge the duties
And to the best of my ability, I will discharge the duties
of the office of Police Constable for Ross Township.
of the office of Police Constable for Ross Township.
Thank you very much for your service.
you.
Welcome to law.
Years ago. Good job,
We need a second here, Russ.
David design.
Yeah. Here.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Thank you for.
Participation time.
You might want to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Have a good holiday and good year.
Public participation. Individuals who wish to address the board must speak from the podium and state their name and address for the record. Points should be made clearly and concisely within the 3-minute time period. One person's time may not be yielded to another. Comments should be directed to the board with courtesy and respect. Any responses from the board will be delivered in the same kind. Have anyone that would like to speak tonight?
Anyone?
Good evening. I'm Butler County Auditor Nancy Nix, and Trustee Young invited me to be here for a swearing-in ceremony tonight, so I appreciate that invitation. I have been going around to different townships and cities and school districts talking, but David Brown was here in my stead. I can't remember what meeting I wasn't able to attend, but so when Trustee Young asked me to come, I was pleased to do so. There was a lot of news media about the values and the tax bills. Just an update on that real quickly. We will have the tax calculations finished within the next few days, but by next Wednesday. And of course, if you have any questions about this, the expert is right here. Julie Joy Smith, who was real estate director for many years and can run circles around me. So really, you've got all you need right there. So we are expecting a heavy load of phone calls because there are so many anomalies with mass appraisal. And then house to house, why is my value this? Why is their value that? But then also with the tax rates and how they work in tandem with all the levies and all the nuances there. So we expect to have a heavy load. It's not a fun topic. It's coming out, the calculations that we're seeing for the Fairfield and Lakota school districts who are not at the 20 mil floor, their tax bills are raising from 5 to 15%, we're seeing. But everyone else, the 8 to 10 school districts, including Ross, we're looking at more around 20 to 25% increase in the tax bills. The state tax commissioner, as you know, mandated a 37% increase in the values countywide, but that was just residential values. The tax increases will be much less than that. I'm thinking around 20 for Ross Township. So anyway, our number 513-887-3154. We will always have a live person to speak to, or that you can speak with about your taxes or your values now, taxes by the 10th. So those will be out. Did you have any questions? I don't want to hijack your meeting.
Thank you for helping
All right.
drive that number down. We
Okay,
Yeah, really, thank you.
thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, yes.
No one else? We'll move on to reports. Fiscal Officer Julie Joyce Smith.
Good evening, everyone. For your consideration this evening, I have the certifications of purchase orders and checks written since the last regular meeting in December. Please keep in mind, these are pretty much representative of business as it concluded in 2023. So that's all for you to review and to sign off on. I also have in front of you, one of the reports in front of you on the table with the blue band on the top is the receipt report through December 31st. I did highlight one item, the Verizon wireless. Former trustee Fisher helped to negotiate a new cell tower lease with Verizon. They wanted to drastically reduce the amount that was previously agreed upon. And in the negotiation of that new contract, it is now, instead of receiving monthly payments, we're going to receive it one time annually. And it was received in December of 2023. And that does appear to be with purpose. Their intent in the contract is for us to receive it prior to the first of the year. So it's going to show in the 2023 revenue, but it's really our 2024 allocation. So that's what's interesting about the revenue report. I will also point out that the fire department received quite a few donations in the memory of Danny Reed. And we received yet another one. Chief Miller handed me another donation tonight. So I've been keeping track of that. I've also sent an initial list. I will have to update the list for one of his family members so that they're aware of everyone who's donated. I don't normally do that unless we receive a large number of donations. So that's the status of that. I also have for you in front of you this evening are the management reports for December of 2023. There's a revenue summary report and a fund summary report, and it gives you an idea of where we stand. And then also in that list of reports is the 2020 or December 2023 appropriation status report. That also tells you where we stand as far as final balances, but there's nothing final about it. There's still a lot to be done before I close the year. There's still a lot of receipts out there. There's quite a few open purchase orders out there that payments will come off of. So we're still moving. It's still in chaos right now. There's also for you to review and sign is the December bank reconciliation. Nothing terribly exciting about that. And then finally, the for President McGurran to sign, but for the rest of you to review, is the November bank attestation. Just telling you where we are. I am in the process of securing a credit card with your name on it. And I have a notation on here that former trustee Fisher's card has been surrendered. So that's in the process of being deleted. So the last item under my report is the status of the purchase orders for 2023. And there's still a lot of bills that need to be paid. So that's a little premature. I'm hoping by the second meeting in January to have to the department heads an update on open purchase orders. I will tell you, we have about $500,000 in open purchase orders, but 355 of that is the medic unit. And there's no, well, there is an end in sight on it, but it's not going to be sooner rather than later. So, and then the bulk of about the 180,000 that remains in open purchase orders is largely tied up in healthcare costs. So I will continue to update the board. My goal is to have the year closed by hopefully the 1st of February or thereabouts. Has to be closed by the end of February. So that backtracking a bit on that bank reconciliation. That's the last one you're going to see until I close the year. So January won't have a bank reconciliation that's available to review until I close the year, and that's not likely till the 1st of February. And that's it for my actual report. If you have any questions on any of those items, then if you have any questions about those legislation that appears under the fiscal officers section, we can talk about that now, or you can discuss as each item comes up, whichever you're more comfortable with.
Okay, thank you, Julie.
Okay, thank you.
Purpose, the auditor of the state of Ohio requires certain policies be established to allow for strict internal controls of the public's money. This resolution sets this policy. Move for the adoption of resolution number 2024-001, adopting the Ross Township fiscal policies for fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. Need a second?
Get it?
Roll call?
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Purpose, the 2024 appropriations budget was the sole topic of conversation at a special meeting of the board on November 28th, 2023 and November 29th, 2023. The following resolution approves pay increases under the 2024 appropriations budget. Move for the adoption of resolution number 2024-002, approving the staffing level and pay summary rates for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. Need a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
I should abstain on that one.
Okay, you abstain. And Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Purpose, the fiscal officer has requested permission to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Auditor of State's Local Government Services Division to provide training and consultation services. The following resolution approves that agreement. Move for the adoption of resolution number 2024-003, authorizing an agreement with the Ohio Auditor of State's Local Government Services Division to provide consulting services to the fiscal officer as it may relate to their job duties, Ohio budgetary law, and other statutory requirements relating to the accounting and reporting function of the township. I need a second.
Got a second?
Roll call?
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Purpose, approval to pay the bills. Move for the adoption of motion number 24-006 to pay the bills as presented through the fiscal officer's certification of purchase orders. Need a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Department reports. Township Administrator Lori Kyle.
Good evening. First, I'd like to welcome Trustee Young to the Board of Trustees. I look forward to supporting you as a member of the board.
And we'll support you as well, young lady.
Thank you. First on my list is to update you. I have submitted the 2 projects for the Butler County Board of Commissioners local community allocation of ARPA SLFRF funding. I did receive a response from the county administrator, Judy Boyko. She said, I believe both proposals satisfy the commissioner's intentions when awarding the local community allocation ARPA funds, and the proposals are eligible through the U.S. Treasury rules. I don't fully understand the township's proposal for the health services, so please consult with the prosecutor's office to ensure statutory authority. So I have begun communicating with the prosecutor's office, and the response that I received was, I am going to need more information regarding the program and how the impact on Ross and surrounding communities supports the public health. I have provided him the very extensive proposal that was provided from Frontier Wellness, so they are reviewing that, and hopefully we will get our project formatted in a manner that we can move forward.
Are we waiting on Frontier Wellness to report back to you?
No, I'm waiting on the prosecutor's office to review and respond from their extensive proposal that they had originally, that Frontier had originally provided. It might require some additional conversation at the work session later in the month, but hopefully I will get it worked out with the prosecutor's office. Secondly, we do have some decisions. Well, the board has some decisions to make in regards to the next steps for the fire chief selection process. 3 candidates have been recommended to interview from the Ohio Fire Chiefs Association, that is the consultant providing services for this process. Their recommendation is to interview all 3. I just would like confirmation from the board that you would like to interview all 3.
All 3.
All 3.
Yes. I have to abstain on that vote because one of the candidates is my next door neighbor.
Well, this isn't a vote. This is just sort of
The interview itself, okay.
correct. You might want to not
Okay.
participate in the interview.
Then.
Okay. Next is in regards to the scheduling of the interviews themselves. It will be a very lengthy evening. Each interview will be about an hour and a half with a half hour afterwards to discuss the candidate. Also, the consultant that will be assisting that evening would like to review with the interview panel to go over some things. That will take about 45 minutes. The recommendation would be for the pre-interview information to be received during your work session on the 18th. That way, the evening of the interviews, we can start right in with the interviews. So I would like to confirm with the board that you would like to have Chief Frank Cook come to your work session on the 18th to review with the interview panel. Is that
I'm good with it.
okay?
Dave,
Yes.
you all right with that?
Depends what time though. I have a meeting.
Well, that'll be with the work session.
Right,
So it'll be with
It
it.
would be the bulk of the work session.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then the next thing that the board does need to determine is the evening for the actual interviews themselves. You have the list in front of you, either Tuesday, January 23rd, Wednesday, January 24th, or Friday, January 6th. So you'll need to determine the day and the start time of that evening.
26.
Friday.
26. No, I'd prefer the 23rd.
No matter to me, one way or another. I can make call.
How early can you be?
4.
Okay. How's that work for you,
I'm
Dave?
fine. I'm retired.
So 4:00 on the 23rd,
Yeah.
Okay?
right? And you'll let all the candidates know, and you'll let Frank and his organization know?
I believe Frank will inform the candidates themselves. The next thing that needs to be determined is he has recommended that we have 2 external officers participate on the panel. Well, he has recommended at least 1. We have 2 very qualified people that are residents of Ross Township. One is Don Bennett, who is a former City of Fairfield Fire Chief, and we have Will Mueller, who is currently the Assistant Fire Chief for Colerain Township. Trustee McGurran had me ask if it would be possible to include both of them. The response was yes. So would the board like to proceed with having both of them, if possible, or available?
I think that's good.
Okay, so I believe that Frank Cook will notify the candidates and I will notify Don Bennett and Will Mueller, asking them to attend. And those 2 will need to come to the work session as well as part of the interview panel. Okay. Next is in regards to work sessions. Since we have a new formation of the Board of Trustees, I would like for the board to consider what you feel are topics to be primarily handle during 2024? What's the most pressing needs that you as a board feel you should address during these work sessions? You can discuss that later in the meeting. You can individually let me know what you're interested in, but it would be helpful to me as I format agendas for the work sessions, the things that you would like to deal with. I am in the process of getting the information that the board requested in regards to the street light conversion to LED. And in your packet is a nuisances update. I would like to note that in regards to the burned structure on Robin Avenue, I'm working with the prosecutor's office in regards to hopefully getting that demolished as well. So hopefully that will happen sooner rather than later. And finally, for the board's consideration is the yearly housekeeping resolution that includes a variety of items, including committee appointments for the Board of Trustees. That's all that administration has this evening.
Okay, thank you, Lori.
You're welcome.
Purpose, the Board of Trustees must establish policy annually to allow for travel expense reimbursement, establish the meeting schedule, appoint its members to various boards and committee, and declare intent to conduct an internet auction for sale of the unneeded, obsolete, or unfit township personal property for the current year. This resolution adopts those housekeeping measures. Move for the adoption of resolution number 2024-004, establishing the schedule for meetings for the Board of Trustees, confirming appointments to various boards or committees, adopting an elected officials' travel expense policy, and declaring intent to conduct an internet auction for the sale of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit township property for fiscal year 2024. Need a second?
Get a second.
Roll call?
Trustee Blower.
Yes.
Trustee Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee McGurran.
Yes. Continuing with reports, Fire Chief Steve Miller.
Thank you, Russ. Dave, congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
Look forward to working with you for the next 2 months, 3 days.
2 months. Before you leave.
For the month of December, the department responded to 88 runs. 73 of those were EMS related, 57 in Ross Township, 10 in the village, mutual aid run into Morgan, and 5 mutual aid EMS calls into City Hamilton. We had 13 fire runs in Ross Township, 0 in Millville, 1 run up at Madison Township with the air and light for a structure fire, and 1 in the Crosby. Last month, we received mutual aid twice from Hanover Township. 1 was on a multi-victim vehicle crash, and also 1 from City Hamilton. They came down to assist us. We should have the annual report done for 2023. Should have that for you guys by February. But just give you a brief overview of our last year in 2023. Our actual runs were down. We responded to 1,282 runs. That was actually down 166 runs less than into City Hamilton. A lot of that has to do with us going into the City Hamilton. They've upgraded another life squad, and their personnel are a lot more. But out of those 1,282 runs, 801 were EMS related, 481 were fire related. And this number kind of surprised me a little bit. 497 EMS transport, but we had 304 non-transports. So we do a lot of EMS calls where we show up and it's, just picking somebody off the floor, or, just they want to be checked, but we do a lot of non-transports. So we should have a pretty comprehensive report for you in February. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you and your staff for, and a lot of gratitude to you guys for what you had to handle out on Ross Hanover a couple of weeks ago.
And Laura and I were just talking about that. There was a gentleman that used to run for us several years ago, was quite instrumental in saving 1 or 2 of those girls' life. We're going to recognize him in the next coming months. We got something ordered for him, but very well deserved.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Road Superintendent Paul Bulak.
Thank you, Russ. Got a couple things. This is Every January, Ohio Department of Transportation certifies the mileage of roadway that we are responsible for. They send it through the county, who sends it to us. I need all three of you guys to sign that, get it back to me, and I'll return it to the county. We're at 47 and a half miles. The other thing is, I mentioned this last time, Monday, Lori and I are going to the Butler County Engineer's office for a planning session for the year. I didn't know if Dave wanted to go or not. It's Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
At County Engineer, so if nobody wants to go, you guys, if you have anything you want to send by word of Lori or I, we can do that for you. And that's all I have today.
Thank you, Paul. For the police department, Sergeant Brian Rogers.
Thank you, Russ. For December's statistics, we had 13 auto accidents. We had 1 burglary. We had 15 domestics, 1 mental EDP call, 1 OVI, 14 suspicious vehicle or person calls, a total of 168 various other calls for a total of 213 total calls for service in the month of December. We had 150 business checks, 98 vacation checks, 92 extra details, and 92 traffic stops for a total of 432 for the year. For the whole year of 2023, our calls for service were down a little bit. We only had a total of 6,366 total calls for the year, 170 auto accidents, 473 traffic citations, 261 warnings. We made 144 adult arrests, 22 juvenile arrests, a total of 253 suspicious person or vehicle calls, 127 domestics. We did a total of 1,208 business checks, 704 vacation checks, and 157 total extra patrols. And then, Russ, we have a consideration for legislation to transition Officer Seth Profit to part-time at this time.
Okay. Thank you, Sergeant Rogers. A purpose, transition to part-time status for Police Officer Seth Profit. Move for the adoption of motion number 24-007 to approve the transition of Seth Profit to the position of part-time police officer at a rate of $27.04 per hour, effective January 1, 2024. This action is in compliance with the current staffing level and pay summary resolution. I need a second.
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Okay. Township business. Old business. Anything from the administration? Anything from the board? New business. Anything from the administration? Anything from the board? Announcements. Anything from the administration? Anything from the board? Correspondence. The Ohio Department of Liquor Control sent a notice of an application for a liquor permit to be transferred from Larry's Food Mart located at 3920 Wade Mill Road to Ross Marathon located at 3920 Wade Mill Road. The police department has no objection. Does the board request a hearing on the matter?
I do not.
No.
I do not. Anything else from the board for correspondence? Topics for next work session? Any recommendations needed from the board?
I don't have any at this time.
No, sir.
No. Okay, closing action. Is there any further business to come before the board?
I have none.
I have none.
Move to the adoption of motion number 24-008 to adjourn the meeting. Need a second.
Give a second.
Roll call?
Trustee Blower?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee McGurran?
Yes. Next meeting for the Board of Trustees work session is January 18th, 2024 at 6 p.m. here at the Ross Township Government Center. Next meeting for the Board of Trustees regular meeting is here February 1st, 2024 at 6 p.m. Ross Township Government Center. Thank you.
Thank you.